Okay.
Nice to meet you.
We come through Miami again.
Next year.
Yeah.
Of
What's
course.
up?
Next year, for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Of
And I'll come
course.
see you. Is
Oh, really?
that a deal?
Okay, deal. That's a deal. Yeah.
Erik Spoelstra has just brought the entire global tennis world to a complete standstill, and he achieved this without ever picking up a tennis racket. Just days before the 2026 Miami Open officially kicks off, the legendary mastermind behind the Miami Heat has completely disrupted the sports news landscape. He didn't merely extend an invitation to the Pinny Dragon Eala to attend a basketball game. He orchestrated something far more regal, a true royal coronation. Let's make one thing crystal clear right now. This was not some inexpensive, fabricated Hollywood-style photo op. This was not an ordinary VIP ticket casually distributed by some entry-level marketing staffer. This was one of the most ruthless, brilliant, championship-caliber coaches in the entire history of the NBA, deliberately pausing everything, going far out of his way to personally host the most dangerous, electrifying young phenomenon in women's tennis. And that one singular, unprecedented action reveals absolutely everything you need to understand about the terrifying gravitational force that Alex now exerts. What rendered this historic encounter so profoundly impactful was the deep, genuine personal respect at its core. Spoelstra didn't simply direct her toward a courtside seat. He personally guided her through the highly restricted, heavily secured inner sanctum of the Miami Heat facilities. He escorted her through the building precisely like a fiercely proud mentor welcoming a conquering champion home. Consider the sheer, overwhelming magnitude of that act. Erik Spoelstra ranks among the busiest, most intensely focused tactical geniuses on the entire planet. A man whose daily NBA routine is meticulously engineered down to the very second. And yet, he paused. He carved out the time to walk right beside her, to lock eyes with her, to offer fierce encouragement, and to treat a 20-year-old tennis player as someone who absolutely, undeniably belonged in that elite, championship-soaked environment. That level of massive, unspoken respect simply cannot be purchased. It is earned through blood, sweat, and unrelenting, agonizing discipline. And Eala has evidently reached a terrifying tipping point where the biggest titans across the sports world are now actively showing deference to exactly who she is. But there's an even deeper, emotionally charged layer to this moment that elevates it far beyond mere sports. Erik Spoelstra is a fiercely proud Filipino-American. He stands as the ultimate legendary trailblazer for Filipino excellence in American athletics. You could almost sense the enormous, radiant pride fueling his generous gesture. He was standing face to face with the next generation. He was witnessing another elite Filipino athlete rapidly, violently dominating the international stage. Blood recognizes blood, and absolute athletic greatness instantly recognizes absolute athletic greatness. This was entirely about powerful, undeniable representation. This was Spoelstra gazing directly at a 20-year-old phenom and clearly seeing the precise kind of massive potential, ruthless mentality, and explosive global impact that can genuinely inspire millions of people. According to reports emerging from the arena, Spoelstra actively shared highly private tactical stories with Eala. He spoke to her in a highly specific, intense manner designed to deeply fortify her mind for the grueling, brutal path that lies ahead. Imagine actually being Alex Eala in that surreal, breathless instant. You're shouldering the crushing, immense expectations of an entire nation on your shoulders. You're stepping onto American soil for one of the most high-pressure tournaments on the planet. And then a two-time NBA champion deliberately pulls you aside and speaks straight into your soul with absolute, unwavering belief. Those are precisely the quiet, monumental moments that forever forge a legendary athlete's mindset. And if all of that wasn't staggering enough, Spoelstra reportedly looked her directly in the eye and told her that the doors to the Miami Heat facility are permanently open to her absolutely whenever she desires. It was a gesture from a titan who actively views her as true family. The Miami Heat organization made certain this massive cultural collision didn't remain under wraps. The legendary franchise proudly showcased Eala's exciting visit across their vast social media empire, loudly and publicly wishing absolute destruction upon her opponents in the Miami Open draw. When a massive, championship-winning professional franchise throws its global platform squarely behind a young tennis star, it emphatically signals to millions of fans, massive corporate sponsors, and every elite athlete on the planet that Alex Eala is a rapidly emerging global titan whose momentum is completely impossible to halt. And this massive basketball crossover forms part of a vastly larger, undeniably terrifying pattern confronting her competitors. Eala is rapidly infiltrating highly exclusive, ultra-elite spaces that are typically reserved strictly for the absolute biggest names in the history of sports. And she's doing it beautifully with a lethal combination of calm poise, deep humility, and an absolute magnetic aura that leads us straight to the heavily guarded boardrooms of Nike. Because Eala's reported visit to their global headquarters absolutely shattered the internet. Instead of a quiet, mundane, sterile corporate announcement, the narrative emerging is that Nike aggressively formalized their partnership in a truly spectacular, unprecedented manner. The stories vividly describe a highly dedicated Eala gallery, prominently displayed inside the massive Nike World headquarters. An entire exclusive architectural section actively and proudly celebrating her most iconic blood-pumping moments on the hardcourt. That is precisely the kind of immortal, god-tier treatment usually reserved for figures like LeBron James, Tiger Woods, or Serena Williams. And then comes the ultimate lethal stamp of approval from absolute tennis royalty. Novak Djokovic reportedly stated that Eala is incredibly great to watch on a television screen, but she is vastly, terrifyingly better in person. Let the sheer gravity of that statement completely crush you. Coming directly from the absolute greatest, most decorated male tennis player to ever grip a racket, that comment is a nuclear weapon. It strongly implies that there is something deeply inherent and dangerous about her aggressive game. A fluid, violent movement, an undeniable, intimidating physical aura that flat television cameras simply cannot fully capture. When a living legend like Djokovic truly perceives that exact terrifying quality in a 20-year-old, the entire sports world needs to immediately wake up and take notice. He praised her for all the right reasons, not because of cheap internet hype, but simply because she is actively, aggressively earning massive respect through her elite, ruthless performances on the court. Jessica Pegula's highly reported comments serve as the absolute final, undeniable proof. Pegula is an elite, top-tier global threat. For her to actively want Eala on her podcast is deeply revealing. It clearly means the entire professional locker room is absolutely captivated by her energy, her inspiring story, and the massive shock waves she is sending through the tour. Pegula openly admitted that facing Eala's tricky, explosive lefty style is an absolute tactical nightmare. She boldly declared that the entire tennis world is definitely going to see vastly more of her in the future. Eala is absolutely no longer simply a highly promising young player. She is the vanguard. She is rapidly becoming the ultimate, undeniable symbol of exactly what the fierce, violent next era of women's tennis is going to look like. Young, absolutely fearless, globally relevant, and completely, terrifyingly impossible to overlook. From the legendary Miami Heat to the massive Nike World headquarters to incredibly high praise from absolute tennis royalty, the undeniable signs are completely everywhere. The global sports world is absolutely not just quietly watching her anymore. They are actively rolling out the red carpet, they are heavily investing millions, and they are actively preparing the throne. And if Erik Spoelstra's incredibly proud, emotional reaction is any accurate indication, the people closest to true greatness can already clearly see it. The takeover is not coming, the takeover is already here.